Shalom and good morning, everyone. I'm very glad to be here with you today. Today, I would like to read with you Zohar Chadash, Parashat Chukat, and I would like us to see, all of us, to experience what happens when we lose grace, or the state of mind, which is grace. So, here we have a few verses from Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 to 6, on which the Zohar is building his article, and I would like to read it with you together. Generally, the article speaks about Aaron, what happens when Aaron is moving away. Aaron the priest, he has, in a way, the grace to cover everyone with grace. What happens when Aaron is passing away or moves? And Aaron is not just historical figure. This is the grace in each and every one of us. Now, Aaron passes away in a place which is called Hor Hahar. Hor Hahar. This is not just a geographical term. This is a state of mind, because Har is a mountain. Hor Hahar, this is the top of the mountain, when mountain represents the divine thoughts. So the question is, what happens when the people of Israel are moving from Hor Hahar, when Hor Hahar is not just a geographical place, but a state of mind? What happens to us when we move from the divine thought? So let's read together the verses and see how the Zohar build its article. Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 to 6. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way to the Red Sea, to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people became impatient because of the way. And the people spoke against God and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, and there is no water, and our soul loatheth this light bread. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they beat the people, and much people of Israel died. Those are the verses. Now see how the Zohar reads this thought. I am reading from the book of Zohar, Zohar with the explanation of the letter Hasulam, Zohar Chadash, New Zohar, portion Chukat, Ma'amar, article Vais'u Mehor Hahar. Please pay attention. The name of the article comes from the three first words of verse 4, Pasuk Daled, Vais'u Mehor Hahar. Vais'u Mehor Hahar, Derech Yam Suf. And they moved or traveled or journeyed from Hor Hahar, Derech Yam Suf, through the Red Sea, we say in English, but in Hebrew this is Yam Suf, the Red Sea or the End Sea. I would like us to look very carefully at this phrase, Yam Suf, Yam Suf. Yam, here, let's write it. Yam is, sorry, Yam. I'll make it a bit thinner. Try to find a thinner pen. Yam Suf. Yam Suf. Let's opposite it because it's in English, so let's do it like this. Yam Suf. This is how we say this in Hebrew. Yam Suf, because Suf in Hebrew is a reed or papyrus. This is a plant. But the Zohar reads those 3 letters as Sof, not as Suf, but as Sof, because the Hebrew does not have, in a way, the Bible is not coming with diacritic punctuation, so we can read it also as Sof. So, they traveled or moved from Hor Hahar, derech via Yam Suf, the Red Sea, the Red Sea, or the End Sea. Let's see how the Zohar reads it. Hine heiru hachaverim. Here the friends had made a remark, shenas'u, that they traveled or journeyed. What does it mean to travel or journeyed? Dehainu, meaning shepasku mililmod hatalmud. What does it mean that they traveled or journeyed? It means that they stopped learning. Shehu Torah shebe'al peh, which is oral logos or oral Torah, which is called Hor Hahar. Now we get a new kind of thinking regarding to Hor Hahar. The mountaintop, Hor Hahar, is oral Torah or oral speech or pure logos. Good morning, Rodrigo. We are very happy to see you here. Let's see. I would like to hear you. Let's see. Let's enter class. Good morning, Rodrigo. Can you hear? Hello?
Hello, Eti. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much, Eti. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. It's a blessing to be here, listen you and share with you and our friends these high lessons.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Very happy to see you here, friends. Venus, good morning. So, did you manage to hear letter Aleph? What happens? Or did you bite? Yes? So,
Yes, not from the beginning, Eti, but this final part, I get it. I believe that I can get it related to Yan Suf and the oral Torah as you wrote on YouTube. I can listen. I could listen this.
good. So let's continue. That the friends had made a remark. Heiru hachaverim. Hachaverim, those are the friends who are reading to the scriptures or the text right now. That what does it mean to journey? It means that they stopped from learning. They stopped speaking the oral Torah, which is called Hor Hahar, top or mountain top. Because what is the Torah? Why the Torah is considered to be, or the Logos, the divine Logos, considered to be the mountaintop? Because this is the intention of the creation. The intention of the creation that we shall unite with through our minds with the divine soul. And now the verse says that they were traveling, moving from Hor Hahar. It means this is not just we have a jeep and minute before we were in the mountain and now we take our jeep and travel in the desert to another location. This is not it. This is not geographical or physical description. This is a movement of the human mind. The human mind stops being one with the divine thought and the divine logos and moves from there, like traveling in the mind from the divine thought, which is called Hor Hahar. Let's continue. Velama nikra Hor Hahar. Now, the question is, why this place, the divine thought, is called Hor Hahar, the mountaintop, literally? Mishum, because Shemisham, that from there, from the mountaintop, Yotzet Hora'ah La'olam, that from there, from the mountaintop, travels or goes out a direction, indication, teaching to the world. Hora'ah, please pay attention that teaching, Hora'ah, teaching, comes from Har. Please pay attention to the letters. Heiresh. Har, Hora'ah. So teaching comes in Hebrew from mountain. Shekatuv, that it is written, Asher katavti, that I have written to, I move English in 1 second. Asher katavti lehorotam, that I wrote to teach them or to instruct them. Horotam, to teach them, to instruct them. Here we have Hey and Resh. Har, to teach, to share, I would say even. Yes. V'zohi, and this is Torah shebe'al peh. Oral Torah or divine logos. Shemisham yotzet hora'ah, that from there, this is a mental space, goes out or comes out the teaching or the instruction of what to do, how to act, and how to behave. So far, so good?
Yes, I believe that I can grasp. Thank you very much.
Good. So let's move to letter Bet. If you have questions, friends on YouTube, please ask if you want to share.
Please,
yes. Yes.
Before we continue, the name Mount Hor in Hebrew is man, Rei, and Resh, right? The word which is translated with Hor, because there is these two words, Mor, Hahar. Hahar is the mountain. And
Yes.
this word with mem, Rei,
Hey.
and Resh
Yes.
is the name. Is the
Okay, I will. Yes, 1 second. I'll write it and I will explain it. Okay? We have, this is a mountain. In Hebrew, this is Har. Har. 1 second. Har, mountain. Now, mountain in, where are you? Okay. Now, the Bible says, Mehor, first of all, there is a Har, mountain, and there is Hor Hahar. Hor Hahar is the mountain of mountain, meaning the mountain top. Here, the apex, the peak. Is that understood?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Very clear.
So, what does it mean that they traveled or journeyed from Hor Hahar? Because this is not a physical mountain. It is in our mind, when the human mind managed to unite itself with the divine logos. This is Hor Hahar, the mountaintop. The peak of the creation is to unite our, let's say, temporal thinking, mechanical thinking, egoistic thinking with the divine thought. This is to be in Hor Hahar. This is a mental place inside of us. In each and every one of us, there is Hor Hahar, a point in which, or a junction, a place, a mental space in which each and every one of us can unite with the divine thought, and this space is called Hor Hahar, mountaintop. Now, yes, now they travel or they move from Hor Hahar. What does it mean? And please pay attention that the verb suddenly is in plural when Hor Hahar is singular, so there's a movement from unity to multiplicity. So they are moving, or we are moving from the state of mind of unity to multiplicity. This is only the beginning. This is not a geographical description of people who are traveling. Outdoors, yes.
So the Yan Suf corresponding to the maximum development, let's say.
Yes.
And the Hor Hahar is the inner space. We could say that Hor Hahar is Chokhmah.
Even higher than that, yes, higher. Yeah, we could say that this is Chokhmah or Machshava, the thought, or we could say Hor Hahar, but even higher than this.
Thank you very much. Actually, sorry to disturb.
No. So now the Zohar says, why does it called Hor Hahar? משום שמשם יוצאת הוראה לעולם. Because from there comes out הוראה, instruction, because הוראה or teaching, instruction comes, הוראה comes, we hear, הוראה from har, הירש. Instruction, teaching to the world. שכתוב, that it is written, אשר כתבתי, that I have written, להורותם, to teach them, to instruct them, and the word to teach and to instruct include the letters Hey and Resh, includes the word mountain. Good morning, Jamaica. Good morning. וזוהי תורה שבעל פה. This is an oral Torah. Oral Torah. שמשם יוצאת הוראה. That from there comes instruction or teaching. Because it's fresh. Oral is always fresh. Written is something fixed. When we read it, comes a new spirit. But here, oral Torah, this is why Rodrigo was asking if this is a thought, machshava or chokhmah, and I said it's a bit higher. It might be referring to crown because this is oral Torah. It is higher than chokhmah. Now we should read letter bet. Aval, here, letter bet. Aval tachazi, raza וכו'. But come and see. The secret of wisdom is here. המקום הזה שנקרא הור ההר, this place which is called הור ההר, הוא דרך. הור ההר is דרך. What does it mean דרך in Hebrew? Way. Way, we should write it way. הור ההר הוא דרך, it's a way, לים סוף. What is Yam Suf? This is not just Red Sea or Red Sea, geographical sea on the map, but here he explains, Dehainu, meaning Sof HaMadregot, the end of steps, as Rodrigo mentioned before, the end of development. Shehu HaMalchut, which is kingdom, שהייתה הולכת לפניהם במדבר, that used to walk in front of them in the desert, ולימדה אותם דרכי חיים, and taught them the way of life, the ways of life. משום שהיא הדרך, because she, the way is feminine, לבוא על ידה לעולם הבא. Because the way, through the way, they can come to the next world or the coming world. It sounds, how does it sound to you, this text? Rodrigo.
If I understood well, it sounds to me that this text describe the flow of this higher understanding um, from from Keter, as you mentioned that Hor Hahar uh, refers to Malchut, and so this Hor Hahar is the top, the beginning, this higher points, and then flow this. We could say um, this wisdom, this flows streams as a river to Malchut. I don't know
True.
it. It
True.
I listen in this way. I don't know it's right. It's
Yes.
right. I perceive.
Yes. Hor Hahar. Very good. Hor Hahar is Keter because Har is a thought. Machshava. Where is the pen here? No pen. Here. Hor Hahar. This is Hor Hahar. Hor Hahar. This is Keter. And they moved or traveled from Hor Hahar to where?
To Malchut, to the Yam Suf.
Very good. Yam Suf.
At
Yes.
T.
Yes.
I don't know if it makes sense, but just came to my mind the four rivers that the Genesis mentioned, and river is Nahar, right?
Yes.
Is Nun, Hey, and has the same letters of this mountain, this Har. And I remember that you mentioned the stream and the four rivers that came from the top. I believe that this river came from the top of the mountain, and then we have the four streams.
Yes.
Just to mention what came to my mind listening to you.
Very good. Very good. This is true. So, the pen I try to write. Thank you. So, this is how the Zohar reads the word. Suddenly the Zohar sees through each word, the Zohar sees a sphere. So, Hor Hahar is Keter, and they move from Hor Hahar to Yam Suf, which is Malchut. But they explain another explanation of the word way. What happens to this way? What this way shows them? All this way from Hor Hahar to Yam Suf, the way. What does the way shows them or teach them?
I need your help to understand that this I didn't get it.
Yes, so let's read. המקום הזה, this place, שנקרא הור ההר, הוא דרך לים סוף. It is a way to ים סוף. דהיינו, this is not just geographical place, it is the end of steps. What is the end of steps? Is Malchut. Now, Malchut used to walk in front of them in the desert. ולימדה אותם דרכי חיים. And the kingdom, or the way, used to teach them the way of lives. Because Malchut, it is the way by in which we can walk to the next world or to the coming world. Is this clear? Please pay attention because there's a lot of Hebrew. They say, or we say, that Yam Suf is the end of steps, or Malchut. Malchut in English is kingdom. But Malchut also holds the stem letters of the verb lalechet, which is to walk. Lalechet is to walk. the way we walk, in other words, is the way that we behave. So Malchut, which is the end of steps, used to walk. Malchut, this is not just a lady or a sphere. The Malchut, the kingdom, is walking. Malchut, please pay attention to the sound. Malchut הולכת. Malchut הולכת. And by the way that Malchut is walking or is behaving, they learn from the way she walks how to behave and how to arrive to the coming or to the next world, which is, what is the next world? Bina. Please pay attention to the course of spheres that we are crossing here. This is Bina. Do we understand the course of music here?
Oh, I must confess that how can I say? I believe that I lose something because if I understood well, Malchut is the Yam Suf, is the ending of this Derech, is the ending of this course, right?
Yes, yes.
But then, if I understood well, you explained that Malchut is those which walk, and when Malchut walks, he arrived to the next word or the other plan, which is Binah. I don't know if I understood it.
Yes, you understood very well. Yes. Just to go to the details of the sphere. Yesod is also being called Kol. Kaf. Sorry that it's not writing that fast. Kol. Why Yesod is called in Hebrew Kol, all, because Sfirat Yesod concentrate all the light from the upper spheres above it to deliver it to Malchut. So if Yesod is being called in Hebrew Kol, and Yesod is streaming the abundance to Malchut, which is the last hay, so we have a marriage between Yesod and Malchut. What is the marriage? Kol, Yesod, is being wed with a hay. And then we have Kala. Kala is a bride. Kol is Yesod. With the last hay, this is Kala, bride. Now, look what happens when we rearrange the place of the letters in this word, Kala, bride. Let's start with hey, hey, and continue with Lamed. And let's write a kaf of Kala at the end, but as chaf sofit, as a final chaf. And what do we have? The verb halach. Halach, it means he walked. Halach, walked. I would like that it will be remaining here on the board. Halach, halach, it means he walked. To walk. Now, do we see the connection between the unification of Yesod and Malchut in the word bride, Kala? Do we see this?
Yes, it's amazing connection. I wonder, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Good, good.
Makes sense and it's beautiful.
Thank you. Now, when we change or rearrange the letters in the word kala, bride, we get the verb halach, which is to walk. Now, if we add another hey, just to those who have ears, we get halacha. Have you heard the word halacha in referring to how to behave? Have you heard the word before, halacha, or not yet?
I don't remember now.
Okay. So let's put it aside. Let's continue and focus in the word halach, walked. When a person is walking in the garden, on the street, we see a man which is walking. But what makes him walk is the spirit within him. Meaning, if we shall see a person who walks on the street and suddenly throw his, let's say, handbag and throw his netbook on the floor, we might think that he is upset or something bad happened to him, because the way he walks shows that he is depressed or nervous or something happened to him. But if we see a person who walks with leisure and he looks at flowers and sometimes he, let's say, photos the bees, so we see the way he walks according to the way a man walks, we can see in what, let's say, state of mind he is, or how the spirit walks in him. If he has a good mood, the way he moves, or if he has a bad mood or sad mood, suddenly the shoulders are getting like lowers and the head is like shrinking inside of the body, in the neck. People get round and not long. There are many, if we look at ourselves or others, we can see a bit what is the mood according to the way they're carrying themselves in walking. So people can sit on a chair with elegance, or people can just fall on a chair or crash on the sofa, meaning they're tired, they don't have a mood, they are nervous, they had it. According to the way we walk and we sit and we speak, the spirit moves in us. This is, our behavior is just a reflection of the spirit in us at the current moment. Is that clear?
Yes, it's crystal clear, and it's amazing what you bring to us, what you share, and even the bride, the way that a bride walks in the day of the
In
marriage.
the way, yes.
Yeah.
Especially how the bride behaves. Very good. The way she walks, this is how she will behave. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Now, do you have any other questions before we move to letter 3 or Gimel?
No, at the moment, no, but it's amazing what you share with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ve'inon namlin mibatra, and so, continue. Vehem Yisrael, and they Israel, nas'u me'achareha, and they traveled behind her. Please pay attention to the word behind, like we have seen in last week when they are crossing they want to cross the Red Sea, and the angel of God is just moving and position itself behind Israel, behind, it's not in front, the face, like grace, behind. Yes. So, and they, Israel, nas'u me'achareha umidarka. And Israel traveled or moved from behind her, not being with her in a relation of face to face, see how Malchut is behaving, but they travel behind her, they don't see how she's behaving. Umidarka. They move from behind her and from her way. Vehalchu achar nachash akalton. and they went after a crooked serpent, Hasholet be'eretz Edom, which is governing in the land of Edom. Al ken ne'emar, this is why it is being said, Vais'u mehor hahar. This is why the Bible is writing, and they moved or traveled from Hor Hahar. They moved from the infinite, from crown, yes, through the way of Yam Suf, and what happened? They removed themselves from the heavenly kingdom and walked after a crooked serpent. As then, ותקצר נפש העם בדרך. And then, when they removed themselves from being with the kingdom, the heavenly kingdom, their spirit got short on the way. בדרך, on the way, here. Second, the pen. בדרך. משום שסרו מן דרך החיים, since they removed themselves from the way of the living or from the way of life. Again, and their spirit got short on the way because they removed themselves from the way of the living or from the way of life. אז then, וידבר העם באלוהים ובמשה. And then the people spoke, meaning complained, to God and to Moses. באלוקים, באלוהים, what does it mean to speak to God? The meaning is to malchut. ובמשה, complain to Moses. He is זר אנפין. על הכל הלינו, about everything they have complained. על התורה שבעל פה, שהיא מלכות. Now we get another perspective about the oral Torah. על התורה שבעל פה, שהיא מלכות. ובתורה שבכתב, and the written Torah, which is זר אנפין. כי אין לחם, because there is no bread. זוהי תורה שבעל פה, this is oral Torah. ואין מים, and there is no water. זוהי תורה שבכתב, this is a written Torah. והוא לחם הקלוקל, and this is, let's say, the broken bread, because כי דבר התורה שבעל פה קל היה בעיניהם. Please pay attention to the word קלוקל, like broken bread. They don't like the broken bread. In English we say, or let's see how the Bible writes it. I would like to use the right. Okay, we see the light bread or broken bread, and let's see how the Zohar reads the light bread. כי דבר התורה שבעל פה, because the oral Torah קל היה בעיניהם, meaning they did not give enough weight to the oral Torah. קל, it means light, meaning not heavy. They did not take it into consideration. They say it's nothing. Oral Torah is nothing. So they saw the oral Torah and looked at it like it was nothing, like a broken bread. They did not consider it as something serious, with meaning. Do we understand that?
This part of it, the text say that the people was not ready to to consider the oral Torah, they need a written, they need a test because they cannot grasp an oral instruction. I don't know if he's sorry, it's I just asking. I
Let's,
don't know if
yes, yes, I see also Venus is writing the I don't understand. Broken
yes,
bread.
please.
Okay, let's do it again. So let's do it again. Okay. And then we shall start here. Yes, from how the people are complaining. Where is the verse? Well, pen, where are you here? Vaidaber. This is Vaidaber ha'am be'Elohim uveMoshe. And the people were speaking or complaining be'Elohim. I mean, they were complaining to God. UveMoshe. They were complaining twice. First about God, and then they were complaining to Moses. So the Zohar says we have two kinds of complaints here. They complain because they remove themselves from the way of life, and suddenly when they remove themselves from the way of life, they complain. But they have double complaint. One of them is to Moses, the Vav, which is Zer Anpin. They complain to Moses. This is the first complaint. And the second is Malchut. First of all, we understand this concept that they complain twice. First to Moses, and then they complain to God. Do we understand this? They have like double complaint. This is understood. Yes? So good. So let's write it hey, because this is Malchut. So they complain twice to God and to Moses. When God is heavenly kingdom, Malchut, and Moshe is Zer Anpin, or the Vav. Al hakol helinu, they were complaining about everything. Al haTorah shebe'al peh, about the oral Torah, which is Malchut. They were complaining about it. Oral Torah. Sorry for this pen today. שהיא מלכות, which is kingdom, ובתורה שבכתב, the written Torah, which is Zer Anpin. Written Torah, they're also complaining. They were complaining to both directions. Let's try to make it right. So they complain about the written Torah. So they were complaining about Zer Anpin or to Moses. And they were complaining at Heavenly Kingdom or oral Torah. Is this clear? The double complaint that I have?
Yes, now it's clear. Thank you.
Very good. And now the Zohar uses their words. Ki en lechem. What is the complaint? Let's move to the verse itself and see how they build their speech. Ki en lechem. Here. Ki, because. Ki is like English cause or because. Ki, cause, because. Ki, because. En lechem. There is no bread. First of all, there is no bread. Let's see. עוד ג' כי אין לחם. אין לחם, זו תורה בעל פה. They complain, there is no bread. What does it mean there is no bread? There is... What?
No,
what? There is no what?
No Torah. They cannot understand the Torah.
There is no... Yes. There is no oral Torah. First of all, there is no oral Torah. This is what they say. There is no bread. It means there is no oral Torah. One second.
And
No.
then there is no water. Then there is no water.
Yes. All Torah. There is no all Torah. Ve'en mayim. And there's no water. No water. There is no vav. In other words, there is no hay, lower hay. There is no bread. There is no hay. And there isn't vav. And there isn't any water. Do we understand this kind of reading?
No, I believe that I can grasp it. Thank you very much.
Do you understand, Rodrigo?
Yes, much better, much better. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
So it means, what does it mean that there is no bread? That it means that taking the oral Torah as light, klokel, broken bread, I say in easy English, broken bread. In Hebrew, klokel is something that we cannot eat. Something which is broken, which is not nourishing. This is a broken bread, is something. But no, it's not literal. We take the letters. Klokel is from kal, meaning it means it is light, opposite to heavy. It is a light bread, so they don't relate to the oral Torah seriously. It's nothing. It's like light, something. It doesn't have a weight. It doesn't have presence. It's nothing. Do we understand?
Well, to this final part, what I understood is the people are complaining because they don't have bread, neither water, and this refers to they are complaining to Moses and to God, Zeirampin and Malchut, because they don't have bread, neither water, and this bread meaning the oral Torah, and the water meaning the written Torah.
Yes.
But there is this light Torah. If I understood well, they cannot grasp, they cannot eat this. How can I say? Food of light, or this light food. I don't know. The people cannot deal with this light of the Torah. I don't know this final part. If you could help me to clarify in my mind, I appreciate. Thank you.
So let's leave the text a bit because it's coming here. Let's read the Aramaic again and see. And they removed themselves from behind the heavenly kingdom and from her way, and they were walking after an awkward serpent which is governing in the land of Edom. This is why it is written Vatiktsar nefesh ha'am baderech. This is why they are short-spirited. Because they were mistaken from the way of life. And it is written, and the people spoke about God and Moses. They were complaining on both in the oral Torah and in the written Torah, because there is no bread. This is the oral Torah, and there is no water. This is a written Torah, and this is lechem haklokel. Please pay attention. Lechem is bread. Klokel is like unworthy to eat. Dekalila, klokel from kal. Kal in Hebrew, kal is light. It is light in their eyes. The words of the oral Torah are light. They don't take the word of the Torah, the oral Torah, seriously. So let's try to portray the whole journey. They move from Hor Hahar. What is Hor Hahar? And this is not about the people of Israel, it's about us. What is Hor Hahar inside of us?
It's
Rodrigo?
the inner, it's the inner space. How can I say the source of all higher thoughts and the unification, the unity is the this inner place that uh, God could live and could inspire us, could transmit us His wisdom.
Yes. So we are moving from unity, from Hor Hahar, through all the way until Yam Suf, with the way, with the nourishment of the Vav. So far, this is good because there is a unification of the Vav and the Hey. Zer Anpin and Malchut. This is how the Zohar reads the verse. But Israel, instead of following the way of the spheres, how the Vav nourishing the Hey in unity, looking at Malchut, how she walks with spirit, what do? They turn the back to the spirit. They walk behind the spirit, they turn their back. And if they turn their back to the spirit, they are removing themselves from the way of life. And immediately when a person removes himself from the tree of life, he is short-spirited. Once we are short-spirited, the complaint is always double. Because we cancel the union. Once we turn our back to the reunion of the Vav and the Hey, we are with our back to the tree of life. We are canceling the unification. There's a double complaint because we broke the unity. This is why they complain twice. They complain about God, which is the Hey, the kingdom, and they complain about Moses, which is the Vav, or the water. They suddenly complain twice. There is no bread and there is no water. It's not that there isn't bread and that there isn't water. They just turn their back to those sources. And now they complain twice. Because they turn their back, they don't receive the oral Torah. The oral Torah is something, it doesn't have a meaning, it's just words in the air, it doesn't have weight. Do we understand the course of thinking?
Yes, I believe that I can understood this. I don't know if may I ask something.
Yes.
Well, the people, how can I say, they start the journey from Mount Hor or Hor Hahar, and in this way, and it's written in the verse 4 that the soul of the people became impatient because
Yes.
of the way. So there is something happens in this way, in this derech, that they, how can I say, they lose this connection, right?
Yes. Yes. They
And no, please, if you could say something about this, because they were in the right path. They came from Hor Hahar, but the soul of the people became impatient. Um, my question is what happens to this? I don't want to disturb the class yet, but just to understand uh, um, how they lose the way or something like that, because then they started to complain, but
yes.
before the complaint, the soul, the nefesh, became impatient. And
Yes.
what happened to this occurs? I don't know if you could clarify to me.
They the verse says Vais'u mehor hahar, and they traveled or moved from Hor Hahar, from the mountaintop, derech Yam Suf, through Yam Suf, or the end of steps. And instead of being with face-to-face relation to the tree of life, they turn their back. Here comes the break. Derech Yam Suf, through, and the Zohar reads Derech as the way of life. So they went through. Via can be translated into English in two ways. I mean, derech can be translated to English in two ways. Once as via, like we say in English, via Ermel, through, or like away. So they traveled from Hor Hahar through Yam Suf, through the end of stairs, and at the end, who is waiting at the end? Not unity. They turn their back. Instead of looking at the Shekhinah or at heavenly kingdom, how she behaves, how she walks, the Zohar reads the word Derech Yam Suf, that they left the way. They left the way. Instead of looking how the Sefirot are moving, how the spirit moves from Hor Hahar through the Vav, through the Hey, instead of learning the process, they turn their back to the process. This is where the break comes. They turn their back and they circling through the land of Edom. First, they move from unity, because Hor Hahar is a place of unity, and Vayisu, and they journeyed in plural from Hor Hahar. They move from unity through Yam Suf, through the end of steps, to circle like a serpent the land of Edom, because they turned their back to unity or to the divine logos. And suddenly they are impatient, they have short-spirited. Baderech, on the way. Baderech. This is why the Zohar, in a way, mentioned the word derech as a crucial point. Instead of looking how the divine spirit walks and learn from her, we see now baderech. We say in English on the way, but in Hebrew is ba derech. Bet, the utility, baderech. Why?
Two ways.
Two ways. Very good. There are two ways.
They divide the path, they divide the way.
Very good. There is a division. Instead of being and looking how the spirit walks with grace and to learn from her, to go to the coming world with inspiration, this is it. They are short. Yeah, they are short. Because to learn how the divine walks, it takes time and patience. But they are short-spirited. They don't want to be with the process. They want results. And please pay attention. They are short-spirited of the way, ba derech, like, and you notice bet is like two. And suddenly we see the double complain. And they're speaking and they're complaining against, again, the bet. This is the mistake, by the way, the bet. Because now they're complaining to both God and to Moses. Be Elohim, in God and in Moses. Bet and bet. Be Elohim uve Moshe. Because they convert the one with the two. This is the mistake. Because what did the serpent told them to Eve? in Genesis. And you shall be like God. Ke Elohim. Kaf, like. Ke Elohim. You shall be like God. This is how we started to seduce her. Ke Elohim, like God. Ke, like, has the value of 20, and in little numbers this is 2. Suddenly there's a duality. And here is the mistake. Ba derech. The duality, and then they don't see like one, let's say, spirited way. They see other options. And when they see other options, they immediately complain.
Amazing, Eti. Thank you. Thank you for explaining. It's amazing explanation and make a lot of sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now the question is, if we don't read it as historical story, this is about ourselves. Once we lose a touch or connection to Hor Hahar, or to the divine thought, or to the divine logos, and we don't want to be the process, we are short-spirited, and we complain about this and about that and about that. Complaining, it means turn our back to the source. If we complain, it means we already turn our back to the source. Because if we have a relation to the source, everything is complete. If we complain and have words, it means we turn our back. We don't see the completion. And we find deficiency and mistakes and troubles because we don't see the whole process, because we turn our back. It's not according to my rules. So the world does not exist. The world does not behave according to X, Y, Z. Do we understand?
Oh, yes, it's beautiful, beautiful. And I'm very, very grateful to listen this, and it's a huge opportunity to understand that we have, how can I say, we, we should receive all of God provide to us, and understand that, as you said, all is complete, all makes sense, even when we cannot understand exactly why some things happen to us or to other people, to the world, even when we don't understand exactly the way, we just need to attach to this flow, attach to the this energy from Hor Hahar. We cannot, as you said, turning back to the unity. We just have to accept and contemplate and trust in, in this path that the light goes from higher to the Malchut, and trust with this, and walk with confidence and with elegance as a Kala, as a bride, and trust with God designs. I don't know if it makes sense just to share, but thank you very much. I'm very grateful. It was
Thank you.
how can a very, very greatest listen. So
Yes.
very, very beautiful listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Kevin is asking the aspect of complaining to understand, because sometimes we just try to understand how. Let's read the next letter, Kevin, and see what does it mean? What happened to them? Because so far we just described the frame of the thinking of Baalei Zohar, the masters of Zohar. So far, we just explained the frame. We didn't go into details. Process is yes, yes. Let's see. Let's see what is happening. What is Hor Hahar? In Hor Hahar, this is not just a mountaintop or the divine thought. In Hor Hahar, Aaron, the priest, passed away. Let's see how all of this is connected. Letter Dalet, Mark 4. Tachazi, Aharon, Yamina V'chu. Come and see. Aaron, he is the right side of the king, which is grace. Nistalek Aharon. Aaron ascended, meaning rose to the heavens. V'nistalku miYisrael zayin ananim. And from Israel removed 7 clouds. When Aaron passed away, 7 clouds ascended, rose to the heavens with him. What are the 7 clouds? Shehi Sod, which is secret of 7 spheres. What are the 7 spheres? Chagat Nahim, meaning Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, the 7 spheres that we always draw. Shemitzad HaChesed, from the side of grace. Az Chazru Yisrael le'achorehen, then Israel went back to their back once, yes? When Aaron moved, with him moved the 7 clouds or the 7 spheres which are coming from grace. Then Israel went back, returned to their back, 7 steps. Now they are falling. Please pay attention. They are falling 7 steps. Kshenas'u mibe'er mayim chayim, when they moved from the well of living water, shehi malchut, which is kingdom, she'ayta minasechet alehem shefa, the heavenly kingdom used to give them abundance to receive the heavenly kingdom. Ki batchila, because in the beginning, hayu olim be'elu zayin hamadregot. At the beginning, when Aaron was alive, they were using those 7 steps or 7 spheres from bottom to up. Mi malchut ad chesed. Like we always, malchut is the bottom, chesed is on the upright. So when Aaron was alive, they were ascending from bottom until up. And afterwards, after Aaron passed away, chazru le'achorehem, they went backwards and cleave themselves into the serpent which is moving in the sea. Ki yatz'u meharashut ha'elyona, they went out from the upper authority, from those 7 steps that they were mistaken, and they removed from there. Then there was an authority for the lower serpent to govern them, which is the Amalek, which sits in the land of Negev. If they would not repent and they cleave to the voice of Jacob, and then they governed in this snake, and he was given into their hands. So, what happens here? What happens when Aaron passes away?
Oh, it's understood that the Zohar says that when Aaron passed away, 7 clouds rose up with him. These 7 clouds represents the 7 spheres from Hesed to Malchut, the right side, the Hesed from the right side of the tree. And when Aaron was leaving, this, how can I say, the light flows through these 7 spheres from the button to the top from Malchut to Hesed. But then I don't know if I'm able to describe what the test means, because I don't know if I understood well this final part.
They used to, it's very good what you described. They used to ascend, walk up the stairs from Malchut to Chesed. They used to walk up because there were like steps from the clouds that Aaron used to be with Aaron. So they could ascend, they could elevate in the spirit because Aaron was uniting everything in the right side in grace. Yes, we have just few more moments. Please pay attention. If you want, I would like to explain this, what is happening. As long as Aaron was alive, he was holding grace or chesed. Yeah. And with him, there are 7 clouds. What is the 7 clouds? Another name to the 7 spheres. And he was covering all the people of Israel with a lot of grace. And through the grace that he, let's say, shared or inherit, people could ascend, because we can only ascend with grace. There is no other way to ascend but grace. So as long as Aaron was alive, there was no problem to elevate. This is why they say in the beginning they used to elevate, olim, to ascend, to rise up. Olim, yeah? Rise up. Because Aaron was supplying the grace. When a person, let's say, generate grace, it is something almost tangible. A person can ascend because grace always elevates. A person who generates grace, or the other person who receives the grace. So Aaron was generating grace, those 7 clouds, and people could elevate. There was no problem. He was the main provider of grace. This is understood?
Yes, now I understood. Thank you very much.
It's like when we live next to a person with a lot of patience and the grace is always covering, but once Aaron is being removed, passes away. This is like, in a way, there are 2 kinds of thinking. Aaron, as a great priest, is moving away. Also, he dies in Hor Hahar. This is another aspect. We just now focus on Aaron and grace. Now, when Aaron is being moved, because he passed away, the generation, meaning being able to generate grace, had been disappeared with him. Because what does it mean to generate grace? Grace is here the right side, and it's like the, how do you say, day 1 in the Bible, Vayehi Or. Everything is united, Yom Echad, which is grace, in unity. This is what Aaron was in charge, so to speak, to unite and to cover everything and to generate grace. People only can elevate. But once Aaron is being removed, the generator, the great generator that generate grace, is being removed, and people suddenly, what? There is no stairs to the building. How can I arrive to the roof? Aaron is gone. It's like somebody took the staircase to rise, and people are just falling because there are no steps. There is no grace to elevate. And people are falling. And where do they fall? Into the serpent. And the next moment, here it speaks about the snakes that moves in the sea. But the next moment, the serpents, the seraphim, will arrive. This is the consequence of lack of grace. And this is not just about Aaron. It's about us. Once we stop generating grace, the fall is very close. This is not just historical story. It's about us. Once Aaron in us stopped generating grace, the way is short. Yes, Kevin. It seems it is the same thought, but from another direction. Yes. Look at ourselves inside. What happens when a person stops to generate grace, to have patience, to have like a settled mind, to have inner peace, when everything is just in harmony? What happens to a person when he loses his temper? In a way, Aaron in him dies and disappears. What happens? Suddenly panic attack, all kinds of things, anxiety, complaining. Why? The inner sovereign is gone. Why? Lack of concentration, lack of unity, lack of contemplation. Lack of trust. Life should have been as I can capture them, not as they are. Do we understand?
Oh, it's amazing this the symbolic meaning of this. How can I say? When Aaron passed away, the one who was able to elevate all, as you mentioned, the stairs, and and it's beautiful to think about this character, this Aaron inside of us, this ability, this capability to rose everything, to generate grace. It's amazing. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for listening, for being with us today. Yes, Kevin, thank you. Thank you all for being with us today. I would like to wish you a beautiful weekend, and we can meet here on Shabbat. If you would like to have a voice conversation on Discord, this is a possibility which is open. If you would like to manifest it, we are open. So have a beautiful weekend and see you soon. Shalom, shalom.
Thank you very much. See you soon, and take you to share with us. It was amazing, amazing class, and it's a blessing to be here. Thank you very much, and shalom to our friends on YouTube. Thank you very much to all. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.